Chapter 1, Lesson 3 is converting unit rates. Okay, so in the warm-up it says squirrels, chipmunks, and rabbits are capable of running at fast speeds. The table shows the top running speeds of these animals. How many feet are in 1 mile? And how many feet are in 10 miles? Okay. So 5,280 feet are in 1 mile. How about 10 miles? What do I have to do with this?
52,800.
52,800. You just multiply this times 10, right? How many seconds are in a minute? 60 seconds are in a minute. And how about an hour?
8,600.
Now, how did I get from minutes to seconds and then hours to seconds? Right. So when we converted hours to seconds, we had to go from hours, then to minutes, then to seconds. And that's how we got 3,600. All right, so today we're going to convert rates. The relationships among some commonly used customary metric units of measure are shown in the table below. So here we know most of these. We know 12 inches in a foot, 16 ounces in a pound, and so forth. Okay? Each of the relationships in the tables can be written as a unit ratio. Like a unit rate, a unit ratio is one in which the denominator is 1 unit. And here we have some examples of some unit ratios. Okay? So we've got 12 inches in a foot, 16 ounces in a pound, and 100 centimeters in a meter. So the numerator and the denominator of each of the unit ratios are shown. The ones that are shown here are equal in measure. Okay? So the value of each one of these is 1. Right? Do you remember we talked about that at the beginning of the school year? You can convert one rate to an equivalent rate by multiplying by a unit ratio or its reciprocal. And sometimes, you guys, you'll hear unit ratios be called conversion factors. Okay? Sometimes you'll hear it be called conversion factors. When you convert rates, you will include the units in your computation. Okay? Remember, when we're talking about unit rates and dimensional analysis, units is very important. In dimensional analysis, that's the process of including units of measure as factors when you compute. Please make sure you write down that definition. And that's dimensional analysis. In the first example, it says a remote control car travels at a rate of 10 feet per second. We want to know how many inches per second that is. Okay? So here the rate is 10 feet in 1 second. Okay? So we want to know how many feet per second that is. How many inches per second that is, right? So we need to convert, what we're going to do is we're going to convert the feet to inches, right? So we start off writing right here. This is where you start off, 10 feet over 1 second. Now, the conversion factor, or the unit ratio, is 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. And remember, you're going to place it in your table, in your T-chart, so that feet will cancel with feet. So if you have feet in the numerator, when you place it for multiplying, you're going to put feet in the denominator. So here, feet and feet will cancel. Is everybody clear with that? All right. So here, this is how they showed it. Feet and feet cancel. And now we are left with inches per second, which is what we want. So when we do that, now the next step is just to multiply straight across. So when we multiply straight across, we end up with 120 inches in 1 second. All right, for example 2, it says a swordfish can swim at a rate of 60 miles per hour. How many feet per hour is this? So we're going from miles to feet. The conversion factor, or the conversion, or the unit ratio is 1 mile is equal to 5,280 feet. So if we have miles in the numerator, we want to cancel that, right? So miles has to go in the denominator. So the what we're going to multiply here is 5,280 feet in the numerator times 1 mile in the denominator. We multiply straight across, and you can see miles and miles will cancel, and we end up with 316,800 feet in 1 hour. Is everybody clear? Here's example 3. Marvin walks at a speed of 7 feet per second. How many feet per hour is this? Okay, so we're going to go from seconds to hours. So we have to go from seconds to minutes, and then minutes to hours. Is everybody clear with that? All right, so we're going to start with the ratio that they gave us. So that's 7 feet per second. Okay, now we know that there is 60 seconds in 1 minute. So that's 60 seconds in the numerator and 1 minute in the denominator. So that seconds and seconds will cancel. You see that? And now we have feet per minute, but now we want minutes per hour. So the next conversion we're going to do is we need to cancel the minutes. So we know that 60 minutes are in 1 hour. So minutes, because minutes is in the denominator originally, now we want it in the numerator. So now minutes and minutes will cancel, and we are left with feet per hour, which is what we are looking for. Is everybody clear?
Yeah.
All right. And then you're just going to multiply straight across and then simplify. Let's do the got it problem. Let's do letter A. It says a gull can fly at 22 miles per hour. About how many feet per hour can the gull fly? So, first we're going to write our original rate, which is 22 miles per hour, right? So, this is going to be 22 miles in 1 hour, okay? Now, we want to convert to feet per hour. So what do I want to change, the miles or the hours? The miles, right? And we want to change miles to feet. So how many feet are in a mile?
5,280.
All right, so 5,280 feet is equal to 1 mile, okay? So now we want to place this so that miles will cancel. So since miles in the numerator, where am I going to put it to multiply? You're going to put it in the denominator. Very good. So we have 1 mile in the denominator, and then up here we're going to have 5,280 feet. And then of course with our dimensional analysis, we're going to multiply straight across. Please notice that the miles and miles will cancel. See this? Miles up there and miles down there. So now I'm left with feet per hour. Does everybody see that? And when we multiplied straight across, we got 116,160 what? Feet over what?
1 hour.
Very good. Over 1 hour. Don't forget, units are very important. So not just 1 hour. All right, for the second example, we're going to do the same thing. We want to write our original rate. So that's 125 miles per hour, right? So it's 125 miles in 1 hour. Okay? Now we want to convert to miles per minute. So the conversion factor, or the unit ratio, is what? Very good. 60 minutes is equal to 1 hour. So how am I going to place that in my table?
60 minutes on numerator.
In the denominator, because we want hours to cancel, right? So we have 1 hour on top, and we have 60 minutes on the bottom. And when we multiply straight across, we end up with, let's see what we can cancel. We can cancel hour and hour. So now that's miles per minute, right? So when we multiply straight across, that gives me 125 miles in what? In 60 minutes. But that is not a unit rate, right? We need to change that to a unit rate. And how am I going to change that to a unit rate? Very good. So now we're going to divide by 60 up here, and we're going to divide by 60 down here. And I want you to make sure you show it in the numerator and the denominator.
2.08.
Good. So we've got, when we do the division, we end up with 2.08 miles in 1 minute. Is that my final answer? No, because I need to round to the nearest tenth, right? So here's the tenths place. What does that 8 tell me to do? Very good. So my final answer then will be 2.1. And don't forget, we want to put our units. So it's miles in 1 minute. So in example 4, it says the average speed of one team in a relay race is about 10 miles per hour. We want, to know what is the speed in feet per second. Now, the reason why there's so many conversions in here is because we are converting miles to feet, and we are converting hours to seconds. So there's why there's so many of them in there, okay? So here you can see that miles and miles will cancel. There's the miles and miles. There's miles and miles, that will cancel. And then we're going to convert the hours to minutes, right? And then minutes to seconds. So now we've got the hours and the hours canceling using this conversion. 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. And then we can see that we can cancel minutes and minutes using another unit ratio. So now, once you have all of your ratios in place, then you're just going to multiply straight across. When you multiply straight across, you end up with 52,800 feet in 3,600 seconds. But again, that's not a unit rate. We need to simplify to a unit rate. So what are we going to divide by the numerator and the denominator here? 3,600. Very good.